everyone and welcome. In today's video we are going to be looking at how to use the French curve. I'm Izzy at Minerva and I'm going to be talking you through step by step how to use it and give you some top little tips on how to make the most out of this ruler. Here at Minerva we have got two different types of French curve. They're both by the brand So Easy. This one here is a metric one, so all the dimensions are in centimetres and millimeters, and this one here is an imperial one, so everything comes in inches. Both of them, as you can see, are exactly the same shape. They've got a nice curve at the top and they've got a similar or exactly the same template as they kind of follow around. So for the purpose of this video I'm just going to use the metric one, but all the principles I'm showing will apply to the imperial one too. Now, this ruler does a lot of different things. So we're going to start off by talking about one of the key features, which is the grading aspect of the ruler. So if we take a look at all the dimensions that are on here, you can see that we've got a grid here. So we'll start off by looking at this. So this grid is really helpful. You can see that it starts at 0, goes up to 41 centimetres. And likewise on the imperial ruler, it goes 1 inch across to 16 inches and up an inch. So you've got a really nice grid on both of the rulers. You've also got a really nice sharp end. So you've got a nice right angle down here. So if you wanted to draw a line that is completely right angles to the edge of the page, you could just really do that nice and easily. Now that we've drawn that line, if we wanted to add a seam allowance to it of, let's say, 1.5 centimetres, we can just use the ruler and line it up so that we've got our 1.5 and use the little grid to make sure it's 1.5 on this side and 1.5 on that side. And then we can just really accurately draw a line. And that's giving us our exact 1.5 centimetres or 15 millimetres offset for a nice, neat, straight line. Now, what about if we have a curve and we want to add a seam allowance to the curve? So let's take a look. If we just draw a random curve like this, using the edge of the ruler, then you'll see that what we've got on our ruler is a series of little offset lines from the curve here. Now, what the ruler very helpfully does is it shows us here the seam allowance. If we use this back line here, that's a 15 millimetre, 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. Then we've got the 12 millimetre and the 6 millimetre lines. This is so smart because if I want to add a 15 millimetre seam allowance to the edge of that curve, I can literally line up the bottom line here with my line here, and it's just going to follow that curve around really nicely. So I can start off like this, it's lining up really nicely. I'm just going to bring it in and continue to create that curve. And you can see there we've got a really nice 15 millimetre or 1.5 centimetre curve. So if you're pattern drafting, if you've been following our pattern drafting course, this ruler is really helpful for just assisting you with creating curves and also creating seam allowances. If you've got any alterations that you need to do on an existing pattern, then you can obviously use this as well to aid you in creating those lovely curves and lovely lines. Being able to just offset consistently is really quick and really helpful. So this ruler is brilliant for that aspect. When you receive your ruler, on the back of the packet it has some really helpful diagrams to show you how you can use your ruler. So let's take a look at those in a bit more detail. You can see here that they've got like basic sort of pattern shapes, and they're showing you how you can use the different curves, the different gradients of curves to create the shapes that you might need in order to create a really nice, smooth pattern shape as you're drafting and drawing your patterns. Now, obviously, this is just showing the examples of if you're drafting from scratch, but you can apply these principles if you need to do any alterations on any existing patterns that you have. Okay, so let's take a look at how to do the back neckline using our ruler. So if this is a pattern piece here that we've made, or it's an existing pattern piece that we've got, this is our centre back here. Everything else is drawn in, but we want to draw in the neckline now, and we're going to be using our ruler to do that. I'm using a red Sharpie pen here so you can see it on the screen, but obviously if you're working from home, do use a nice sharp pencil. So first of all, I just want to line up using the right angle of the ruler. I'm just going to draw a short line that extends out perpendicular to the centre back. And then I'm just going to use this section of my ruler. You can see that just creates a really nice soft curve. It's not difficult and it's just going to look absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's look and see how we can use the ruler for the front bodice and all the key sort of curves and shapes that the front of our body requires. So on this one here, we've got our centre front here, we've got a waist down here with a nice little waist dart. Everything else has been drawn in. We've got our bust dart coming up here, but we need to draw in our neckline. So start off by drawing a little perpendicular line from the centre front and then find a smooth curve using your French curve ruler to join that up to the shoulder point. In the middle example, we can draw the waistline by simply using a gentle curve on the ruler to create the bottom of the waistline. So let's look at the arm side curve next. In this example, I've popped some little help points around the block so that I know where I want my curve to sort of sit comfortably. And then I'm just going to use my ruler to draw that curve. And there you have it, a really nice, smooth arm side curve. So those are the key areas that you can use your pattern drafting tool for the front bodice. But if you're also making alterations to the skirt, let's take a look at how we can use our ruler to achieve beautiful results. So here we've got 3 skirt blocks in front of us. This is our skirt front, and this will be the centre front line here with our hip line and our waistline up at the top up there. So we've got 3 little examples here, and our French curve is really helpful for creating really nice shapes. So we'll start off by drawing in the waist using the curve of our ruler. This could be drawn with a straight line, but you can also draw it with a curve, which creates a really nice soft shape. And moving on to the second example, this is missing the dart. So we can draw that either straight with the ruler's straight edge, or we can draw a curved dart, again, using the gentle curves of the French curve ruler in order to create that soft dart shape. And finally, we can use the ruler to draw a nice hip curve as well. You can also use the ruler to adapt the arm side curve. So this can be done by using a variety of different curves on the ruler in order to create one continuous, beautiful curve just like this. And don't forget that all the principles that we've talked you through for the metric curve also apply for the imperial curve. Thanks for joining me today. We will tag those 2 products below the video so that you can find them easily on our website. And in today's video, I am wearing some Minerva exclusive fabric. This is the Savannah pattern on French terry with a loop back fabric, and it's a nice stretchy fabric, and this is using the Megan Nielsen Rowan top pattern. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you next time.